Easy now, my peeps. I'm carbon dioxide, and this is Hydra. 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 Now, I realise I've already posted a video on this very gun, and you may think I'm just cashing in on the current hype. But now that I'm much further intertwined and have literally used the Hydra as my staple weapon throughout, there's a lot more to say about this gun, and more so whether to Shadowshard or Obsidian this little beast. But we'll get to the sharding in a minute. First, let's look at what makes the Hydra so good in high level games. As you progress in Fortnite, things get a lot more spicy. By late canny, early twine, you need to constantly keep on the move to stay ahead of death. And while you're on the move, you need to be able to accurately and regularly land headshots. And this is where the Hydra really excels. Even when on the move, switching between targets and staying mobile, the Hydra's stability and unique crosshair makes it easy to consistently land headshots. An appropriately leveled Hydra will guarantee a one-hit headshot on all low levels, which is exactly what you want when you're running and gunning. The stability is second to none. Although the Hydra is technically a high-powered shotgun, it just doesn't have any recoil issues whatsoever. You can literally fire it on full auto at mid-range and still maintain a tight, accurate burst. Now, there are many higher DPS options than the Hydra, but what the Hydra has got absolutely spot on is the power ratio for one hitting low levels, while being able to end mist monsters with a few extra shots. An appropriately leveled Hydra spewing out headshots will 3 or 4 hit a Husky Husk, Laser Eyes or Taker, quickly, accurately and effectively. It's not a tank killer per se. The Hydra is more predominantly a low level mist monster clearing weapon, so killing smashers with a Hydra is not advisable, it just takes too long. Although, with an Urban Assault main and a Make It Rain headshot perk activated, this changes things significantly. With either Skull Trooper Jonesy or Urban Assault Headhunter, the Hydra becomes a DPS monster. Make It Rain works particularly well on the Hydra since it brings its fire rate up to a controllable but powerful burst, and with a rapid reload speed and 10 round magazine capacity, you can keep on raining down hard in that smasher's face, magazine to magazine. And all the time you're doing this, whether on the move or zoomed at mid-range, the Hydra stays completely stable, allowing you to consistently land headshot after headshot. Indeed, the Hydra is probably the most well-rounded gun in the game. It's durable, it's powerful, it returns good DPS on the right build, and will even work at range with a tight spread on zoom, despite technically being a shotgun. Just trust me on this one, you want this gun. Shadowshard or Obsidian? So here's the golden question. When you reach Evolution 4, you will need to make a decision whether to Shadowshard or Obsidian your Hydra. And there are two schools of thought to this. If you want max DPS but less durability, then it's Shadowshard. If you want max durability but less DPS, then it's Obsidian. As with all Shadowshard transformations, damage will be up but fire rate down. But since it's percentage based and relatively slow firing, the Hydra will only lose 0.25 seconds of fire rate, which is virtually unnoticeable. But damage is up significantly. A Shadowshard Hydra will return around 20% more damage per round to that of its Obsidian brother. And that's not to be sniffed at, that's the equivalent of a legendary flat damage perk. But is it actually worth doing, considering we are losing 20% durability and will be potentially causing ourselves farming headaches? Well, in many respects, no, it isn't worth it. Why? Well, if you think about it, the majority of your targets using a Hydra will be low levels and Husky Husk. Perhaps the odd Laser Eyes too. Irrespective of whether you Obsidian or Shadowshard, an appropriately leveled Hydra will one hit all of the low level mobs and 3 or 4 hit the mist monsters. There will be times when having that little bit of extra damage will kill something in one less round, but generally speaking, for the mobs, where the vast majority of your Hydra focus will be, it'll make absolutely no difference. So Obsidian is the logical option. It means your gun will last longer and pretty much return the same results. You'll not have to farm as often for Shadowshard or mechanical parts. Your life will be more straightforward and easier if you go with Obsidian, and pretty much bear the same results. So what did I do with my Hydra? Well, I Shadowsharded it, obviously, and here's why. Although it will be pointless for most of the time, when you play Fortnite a lot, you start to realise what really matters isn't most of the time, but what happens rarely, in pinch situations where having just a little bit more power could save you or a teammate. It could be that little bit more damage that kills a smasher just before it wrecks your base. It could be that extra little tickle that downs the laser eyes before it downs you. It could be that extra bit of impact that sends a husky husk to the ground before it slaps you round the face. Whatever the situation may be, no matter how niche it may seem, it's these scenarios where a little more power and impact goes a long way. Now, I should point out, I main Master Grenadier a lot of the time, as opposed to an Urban Assault Soldier. Grenadier only has a 25% assault rifle buff via advanced tactics and debilitating shots, so Shadowshard really helps to give the Hydra that little bit of extra oomph it needs on a Grenadier. But with her insane grenade perks, wave clear is mainly achieved via this ability as opposed to guns. The Hydra is perfect for picking off the stragglers, or laying into mist monsters that are only tickled by grenades, but it's not being used constantly to deal with large mobs. What this meant for me is that Shadowshard evolution was a no-brainer. Durability is never an issue with the Grenadier main, since you'll regularly be blowing shit up much more often than you'll be shooting the load into it. But if you're using the Hydra with an Urban Assault main, you'll still be wave clearing with grenades, but to nowhere near the same extent as a Grenadier. Plus, with Make It Rain kicking in, the Hydra becomes a viable tank killing option, meaning you're highly likely to be laying into smashers with it, particularly if you've just emptied your assault rifle magazine and you just need that little bit more damage to kill it without having to worry about reload panic. So, if you're maining Urban Assault, then Obsidian makes more sense. The increased base damage via improved debilitating shots and the increased fire rate via Make It Rain and Rain Faster will more than compensate for the depleted base damage. So if I was maining Urban Assault, would I have Obsidianed her? Well, the answer's still no. I still have gone with Shadowshard. The reality is, for me personally, I'm more interested in having the most powerful weapons possible rather than worrying about creating a mid-twine farming headache for myself. As you will have experienced by the end of Stonewood, Plankerton or Canny, you will invariably end up with a mountain of ore and crafting materials you won't use. They end up getting thrown away or donated to noobs. True, there is that mid-level element where you are constantly running out of mech parts, but then you just have to think about crafting more effectively. For example, rather than using wall darts, use wall dynamos to save on mech parts, or use wooden floor spikes instead of freeze traps to save on quartz crystals. In a nutshell, if you're a gun-focused player as opposed to trap-focused, then Shadowshard is probably your best option. Okay, it may not be the most sensible choice, but for me, I'm all about maximising the power of my weapons and builds. If I'd have Obsidianed my Hydra as a rare special event weapon, potentially a one-off opportunity, I know I would have always regretted it, knowing that it isn't as powerful as it could have been. It's really down to you which route you take, and if you're the frugal sort, maybe you'll be more comfortable with Obsidian. But if, like me, your attitude is more zero shits given to sensibility, Shadowshard is the way forward. But whatever option you pick, you'll have a beast on your hands, and without question, one of the most well-rounded, useful and satisfying shooters in Fortnite. So if you haven't done so already, get grinding, save up that seasonal gold, and be sure to get your hands on one of the most satisfying, useful and OP weapons in Fortnite. If you've enjoyed the video, be sure to give that like button a hard pump and subscribe for more husk sharding action. And until next time, GG, well played, and laters fam. Laters.